There you go. And we're going live.
Oh shit, we're live.
Yeah. All our secrets are out.
Oh no.
There we go. Can you check Brandon if we're live, please?
Yes, ma'am. Let me check right now.
Oh, you're
Don't
live.
you all love Brandon? He's the happiest guy ever.
Thank you. Let's get that.
He really is.
Oh, love you guys. Host. Okay, hold on. Polly, where'd you go? Did you go live on the Event Hawk page?
That's correct.
Okay, let me look.
Technical issues.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing the live. Hold on, let me open it up on a different page.
Uh,
Okay.
If someone else sees it before me, please. There it is. Nope, I see it. We're good. All right, go ahead.
Perfect. Okay, guys, welcome, welcome. As you know, I'm Polly. I'm going to be your host today. With me is Brandon. Brandon, can you tell us what's the topic today, please? Again?
Absolutely. Today's topic is what does your booking process look like, right? From inquiry to confirmation. What do you guys do for like what are your workflows? Do you have any automations you use? What is your follow-up process? All right. So who wants to get the ball rolling? How do you guys handle the whole process?
Um, Okay, Pretty much, I'll go. I
Go ahead.
I guess I just do with the Event Hawk app. So, and like I said last time, I'm new at this, so I'm learning right now.
Okay. Okay. So a customer goes to your website, they fill out the pop-up, and then
Yeah. Well, most of my clients over here, they rather text me, directly to my personal, because like I said, I'm new right now, so I'm trying to get my other phone number out there, so they could text me through the event hug. That way I can keep up with all the bookings. So yeah.
Okay, okay.
nice.
Do you follow up with your customers?
Oh yes. I wasn't doing it, and I didn't believe all that, but it does make a lot of difference. Keep, follow up with literally anything, whatever question they ask, you just gotta keep following, because if not, then you just lose a lead.
Exactly. And after the event, you follow up with your customers? I don't know, like maybe a satisfaction
Yes,
survey?
well, other other than the review, when we ask for reviews, I also like to just ask them how it was, if there's any suggestions, like good or bad, that we can, that we can know, so that way
Improve?
next time you can have a better service. But so far we all good.
Okay, okay, perfect. How about you, Jeffrey? You're so quiet today.
Oh, Oh, I was looking up the Facebook Event Hawk live stream. I just wanted to see what it looked like. So I saw it.
You look
Um,
handsome, don't worry.
Thank you. Um, so our booking process is we use Event Hawk, obviously. We have made a couple of modifications on our automations. First thing we do is we have the pop up on our website that starts the funnel for us. I believe the default is for 5 minute follow up for the first follow up text from the Event Hawk thing. I had watched a video from Alex Ramosi, and he was talking about their follow up process and what they do. And he found that if you respond within 1 minute, his numbers were, I believe, 394%. We'll round up to 400% as likely to close as you were anytime afterwards, including a 5 minute window. So basically, if you respond within 1 minute, you're 4 times as likely to close that deal, just because you're getting to the client faster than what they're what they're used to.
See, guys, that's why you need a VA. While you're delivering and setting up, someone is answering your text and your phone calls. You need a VA in your life and in your business.
That's something that I think I asked Zoe last week, and I'm looking for it because I am kind of busy doing some other stuff, and I think Oh, I'm going with it. Yeah, you got to get those. Get your automations online. They have some classes that you can take on the EventHawk website itself. The not the um, uh, damn, sorry, not your phone app that you have, but the actual website that they do. They have some
Yeah.
classes in there on how you can do your automations.
Oh, okay.
You
Nice.
definitely need to get those set up. I cannot recommend those highly enough because just following up with the client over and over and over again makes a huge difference. A lot of times people won't follow up. And so whenever you do text them back 2 or 3 times, even though it may be a day apart, they really appreciate that. Sometimes, you may get somebody who hits you with a do not call list, but that wasn't going to be your client anyway. So who cares?
True.
That's the casual person who just wanted to see what's what. If they're going to put you on a do not call list, then they really aren't interested in doing business with you.
Mostly the scammer. As soon as you send them the first text, it'll like automatically put you into the do not call list.
Yeah, I can see
Okay.
that too. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. That's interesting. And I might bounce my house. Oh,
I got a tons of them here in Texas.
oh my
So I
God.
apologize. I got on topic on that one. So we were talking about the process that we go through. We do the first automation within 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Scammers. We turn the phone off. We do the first automation within 1 minute, and then we as soon as we get them to respond back to us, either my wife or I, she usually does all the text message responding, but we're both monitoring what's coming in. And as soon as either one of us sees somebody responding, we're either going to answer their question, or I believe the first automation is what's the date of your event, so we can check for our availabilities. And so they usually give us their date, and at that point we pretty clear it's going to be either a water slide or a combo here in Florida. Very rarely is it not. Like this last month maybe, but 11 months out of the year it's water slide combos. So that's the first thing we ask is, which one are you interested in? And that gets the ball rolling, and just keep asking them questions until we can narrow down exactly what they're looking for. Hopefully they're up front and they say, I'm looking for a bounce house combo for a girl or a boy, and they like dinosaurs or unicorns, or they'll give you the information, hopefully. But if they don't, you got to ask the questions, and just keep asking questions until you get them to a point where you've got a little bit of rapport with them, and then you can ask, hey, can I get your physical address? If they haven't put their email address down for the coupon, they just gave you a phone number with a name, then you ask for their email address and tell them, I'd like to go ahead and send you a quote. Now, our big hook is, and not a lot of people do this, but we only require a $1 deposit. We take cash, we take checks, and we take card on the day of delivery. And that is an enormous hook for us, because we say, we send you a quote. If you're interested, all we require is the $1 deposit, and then follow up with when we were expecting the payment to be finalized. And we're entering our third season, and so far in 2.5 years we've had 3 people cancel on us at the last minute.
Okay.
2 of them, and I'm saying the last minute, one was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. The lady had texted me the day before and was like, hey, I think my kid may be getting sick, but I don't know. I was like, okay, cool, let me know what's going on. And then the Wednesday night before, she texted and said, hey, I need to cancel tomorrow because my kid's sick, and I don't want to have the party over here. And so can we postpone it till the next week? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm still getting your business. It's just a week later. And that $1 deposit hook just really works for us.
And for that dollar deposit, I mean, this might be a dumb question, but I'm guessing you don't, like, if they cancel, I mean, just $1, right? You just give it back, or
Yeah.
I mean,
Again, I've had 3 cancellations, and 2 of them were actually reschedules. I've had 1 cancellation at the last minute, and she gave me a dumb reason, but
And did they lose their deposit?
yeah, and I actually got a smart ass about it. I was like, I'll send you your deposit back.
Is that something that you did? Like you actually put it like yourself with $1 deposit, or something that EventHawk has to do?
Oh no, we use Stripe. The reason why we do the $1 deposit is so that we can get a card on file for any kind of damage that may occur. And then after that, I don't care how they pay. I just got a card on file, and don't let them use Zelle, don't let them use PayPal or anything else, because then you can't charge their card without their permission.
Card on file, baby. Yeah.
So it's kind of covering your butt on the back end. If there's any damages or stuff, you do have some repercussions you can do, or some steps you can initiate. But that's really all the dollar deposit is for, is just to get that card on file. So if we actually need it, otherwise,
Have you have any issues? Like, have you charged somebody?
No, never once. Never once. I can't say, it's not going to happen. I'm sure it will happen at some point. I have had a problem with a client where I had to cancel on them. They gave me the dollar deposit, and I went in, got to their house, and the backyard was just unsanitary, is what we're going to call it, as far as being able to set anything up. And I canceled on them and gave them their dollar deposit. And she thought she was going to be a smarty pants because she was like really mad at me for it. Like, I want my deposit back. And I was like, it's $1.
What was it? Dog shit all over?
She had some young children. And the best that I could gather was that somebody had told the kids to take the garbage out. And they drugged the garbage across the backyard.
Yeah.
The problem was no one followed up behind them. And there was 5 bags of garbage that nobody had tied up the bags of garbage. So these little kids looked to be like 4 or 5 years old, were dragging garbage across the backyard. And there was just food and open containers and stuff strewn all over the place. It was really.
Yeah, if there's dog shit all over, I just get up and leave. I don't even say anything. I just hop in my vehicle and leave.
I do talk to people about that beforehand. Ask them if they have a dog. Go over you need to have to pick up the dog poop beforehand. I have got on site. There was one that it was the grandfather and the kid were there to let me in. And when the grandfather got back there, he was embarrassed by what was there. And the little kid was there. I mean, I should have walked away from it, but I sat there for like 20 minutes and let him clean everything up. And then I just put an extra large tarp over the area and put the bounce house up. I went up. I put him on the blacklist for the future, but I just felt like the mom really put me in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I was going to turn it down, I had to like tell the kid, I can't deliver this bounce house to you, basically. So I have had that situation happen. And I actually had one over this last weekend where the lady I had to wait like 3 or 4 minutes for her to pick up about 5 piles.
Crazy.
The thing is, man, again, I listened to a lot of Alex Hermosi, and he tells the story about where he was trying to close a sale with a mom, and the little kid was in the office, and she was marking up his wall, and he couldn't yell at the kid because he needed the money from the sale to pay for the paint for the wall. And it was kind of like, I can be a hard ass about everything, or I can be understanding about the situation. And the lady, when all was said and done over this weekend, where I had to wait for like 5 minutes, she's already given us a 5-star review. I mean, we got a fantastic rating off of her. We kept a good rapport. I laughed about the whole situation. We talked about her cute little dogs while she was doing everything. And I tarped the area, put the bounce house up. I felt like it was as sanitary as it's going to get. And, I got my money. And I got a good review out of it. So
Nice.
if there's some dog people in the yard, as long as it's not extreme,
Yeah.
I got to use my best judgment on that one.
Yeah, you make it work.
Yeah, but again, the one that I said I should have turned down, there was a lot. It was really bad, and I should have walked away from that one, but I would have had to walk away from the kid.
Yeah.
And if it had been the mom and the kid, I'd have let her explain the situation. But I'm not going. The grandfather was like so embarrassed about the situation. So
I bet.
I have a similar issue that when I went to set up the bounce house, by the time I wheel my dolly in, the backyard full of dog poop, and I have to force myself set up on that time. But then when I come back into the group, I share my experience with people. They told me that you have to set up an automated message to text them like 3 day before. Like just tell
mhm.
them, um, oh, we excited to set up your the bounce house for your event, blah blah blah. Just for quick setup. Please clean up your backyard, sharp object, rock, toys, especially dog poop, stuff like that. And then on the day that of the event, I have like, hey, we're gonna be there between this time to this time. Please ensure the backyard are clean, and again repeat the same message, like make sure no sharp object, no toy, stuff like that, and the dog poop, of course. And then most of the time, since that time, I never have that issue anymore. I also bring additional brand new tarp from Harbor Freight, though like a few bucks, and then I'll just leave it on the trunk. And then whenever that you go to the customer house and it's so dirty that you can't, the customer, you give the customer an option like, okay, we're gonna still set up the bounce house for you, but then you're gonna have to purchase a tarp from us, but we don't charge them extra or anything like that. Just whatever I pay for the tarp, I'll just pay them, give to them, and then they have to pay extra for that. And then we set up the bounce house. By the time we finish, we just take the bounce house and we leave the tarp for them. They either buy that tarp or they don't buy the tarp, and then we're not gonna set up for them. So they have an option for that. Um, but I never have anyone buy the tarp because my automatic text is working. Most of the time, I go there and it's clean up. At least they clean the area where the bounce house going to set up.
Um, for the bouncer guy, thank you for the pre-delivery checklist. I think I might use that one. I don't know if you see on the chat.
Oh yeah, love it, love it. Well, hold on, I was hung up. Jeff, you said you use Stripe as your payment
Square.
process.
I'm sorry, I use Square.
Yeah.
Square.
Okay.
Apologize, Square.
No, you're good. I was about to say you're one of the first people who use Stripe.
No, I apologize. I got it wrong. I use Square.
Okay, cool.
As
Okay.
far as the tarp thing goes, yeah, I tarp probably about 75% of our yards. The only ones that we don't tarp is going to be whenever we show up and it's like a golf course yard, or if it is pretty close to a golf course yard and going to be used dry. Otherwise, just from everything gets used wet. So if you don't tarp it, then when the kids are getting out of the pool and out of the water slide area, that it just becomes a mud hole. So
So
as far as tarp goes, I've got tarps that are 2 years old right now that I still use.
I got a question for you, Jeffrey. You said you're in Florida, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you use a lot of tarp? Like, do you use tarps for everything, or you don't use no tarp?
That's what I said. Probably about 75% of the time I use tarps.
Okay.
The only times that I don't use tarp is if I'm going to someplace and it's got what I call like a golf course yard. It's all green.
Yeah.
There's no dirt patches, stuff like that. I'll go ahead and set it up, even if it's going to be used wet. But we also use 6x8 rugs. I want to say styrofoam. That's not it. AstroTurf rugs that you get from Home Depot. We'll put those outside of the wet areas, so that way it doesn't create a mud hole. But otherwise, we tarp just about everything.
Do you guys do you just tarp like the pool area um or the whole unit? That was kind of something like I had
I do
questions.
the whole unit.
I do the whole unit. The reason why is if I'm going to take the time to put a tarp down, I'm going to have to put a tarp up. Now the smaller tarps are a little faster, but they still take time. And my concern is when you do an indoor event like a church or whatever, if you just put your unit out, like the water slide's not such a big deal, but when you get to combos and bounce houses and obstacle courses, you're going to put that inside a church, and it was just on a muddy yard.
Oh,
Now you're bringing that mud into that church rectory area, and they might not be happy with the cleanup afterwards. So we just anything that may go indoors at some point gets tarped.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was just wondering just to see because we saw like some other people were only doing it like on the pool area, and I thought it was kind of smart, but it was to save money. But we always tarp the whole unit just because I mean it ends up being cleaner,
Yeah,
less work.
like that picture. We
Yeah,
don't we don't tarp that big, but we probably should.
I
I like
do.
that. That's a killer setup.
Yeah, I like to have at least 10 feet on each side, except the back. You know, the back, I don't really care. It's just the front and the two side. I like to have at least 10 feet on each because,
So what are you using there? A 30 by 50?
yeah, I
Okay,
believe it's
because I know
30
the
by
unit's
50. Yeah,
19 wide and 38 long, so 30 by 50.
I don't remember really the size, but it is big. Yeah, it is big. And whenever I put it in the customer's house, they're like, "Oh man, that thing is big." I'm like, "This is just a tarp," you know. Yeah,
okay,
but
guys. Haley says $50 deposit, 48 hours all owed due, signed contract, in person sign the owner's manual operator's agreement, and insurance liability paperwork. Refund 48 hours beforehand. If they submit quote, I text. If no answer, I call. I send quote 2 times a day as a reminder, then I back off
Nice.
as follow up. And I'm gonna tell you at Bounce My House our process, so take notes. I'm gonna spill the tea. First of all, we have the coupon form. We have starting the funnel on the website. The trick here is we actually don't have auto booking on our website, only for tents. So
Oh,
every time they want to quote something, it goes through text or through call. That's why it's really important to have a BA answering text and calls. Like you said, Jeff, it has to be within 2 minutes. If you don't, you lose that sale. And afterwards, we build the quote. Obviously, we ask the basics, the location, the surface. We ask if there's so many extra instructions or something. Afterwards, they have to make a 50% deposit to lock down their date. And 7 to 5 days before their event, we do what we call the manager survey, where someone of us calls them and we say it's for confirming some details. We confirm the address, surface, phone, everything. And at the end, we state the rules like no sharp objects, no fireworks, no grills, no dog poop, no lawn ornaments. And we ask them to mow their lawn 2 days before the event so the inflatable doesn't get stained. And after confirming this, we ask to the full amount be paid 2 days before the event, and then we can route them and we can deliver. In the meantime, we also use automations, reminding them for the remaining balance or for the manager survey. It's a must, the manager survey. If they don't answer, we don't deliver. We have to confirm the details and give them the instructions and the rules.
do you do you like leave a paper with the rules and instructions or just
They won't
verbal?
read it. No, they won't read it. We tell them. We also say that we're gonna give them an extension cord and everything, because if you hand them a paper, they won't read it. You have to tell them.
Yeah, sure.
so you don't give anything written? It's all verbal. You tell
All
everybody just
verbal.
verbally. Okay.
They only sign their contract. Well, there's the damage waiver clause and the damage charges and everything. But yeah, everything is through the phone and their signed contract. And afterwards, we're gonna implement. It's brand new. We're gonna do the satisfaction survey where we call and we ask them if they like the event, the timing, everything, and if they have some recommendations for us.
Mm.
Cool. When do you call them? When are you
It's
gonna?
supposed to be 3 days after their event.
Okay. Okay. So after, if you have a vet hog, after the Google review goes out.
Exactly.
Jeffrey, to give you, I guess, an advice or whatever. I don't know if you want to take it. I don't know if you have tables and chairs, but over here where I'm at, with Naples, I do picnic tables. I don't know if you have picnic tables, and they do pretty good. I know you seen the picture, and this is a package that I have, for like a small backyard parties.
Okay.
And man, they do rent.
I haven't tried the picnic tables. We do have tables and chairs. We have some 5 foot rounds. We have the 6 foot rectangles, and we have some kid picnic tables. But do you do adult picnic tables too?
Yeah, that's the adult picnic tables.
And it's got a tent, or it's got the
Yeah, the
covering.
umbrella. Yeah.
I had not considered that. How much do you put that out for, the whole package?
You know what? I think it's well over
Well,
here.
not the bounce house, just the table and tent, just the table and tent thing.
Yeah, well, the table and the umbrella is $35. I don't know if that's cheap or I believe that's cheap from what I keep hearing. I think I should read my prices, but this is another question that I have for you. I don't know how much will you rent something like that?
I don't know, man. I like that. That is
Or
killer,
anybody
dude.
here?
I mean, that's going to be my next purchase. I'm getting ready to show my wife. I hadn't even considered that for adults. Man, that is with the umbrella up there, man. That is just what they need, because not everybody wants a 10 by 10
Yeah,
tent.
nobody really wants
That-
it. And you know what? I use
that-
this a lot in what is it? It's a community over here, Ave Maria community, and they do a lot of little events. And instead of a tent, they told me, "Oh, put picnic tables here and there," and man, people enjoy it, because they're just right there.
Man, thank you, dude. Yeah. I don't know, man. I would probably start it off at, how hard is it to set up?
It's just heavy. They're heavy.
You can throw it on a dolly, right?
Yeah, I have a
I
electric
mean,
dog.
it compacts down, so it'll be pretty
Yeah,
flat.
yeah. The picnic tables, I believe they're like $250 at Lowe's.
Okay.
But I don't know if anybody has a suggestion over here. How much would you charge for a picnic table?
I would probably do 35 just for the picnic table, and then throw the umbrella in there for a $50 package, is what I'm thinking.
For a $50 package each.
Yeah, because right now we're doing a 6 foot table with 8 chairs. So you're only going to get 6 seats around the picnic table, but with 8 chairs, I think we've got it at $33.
Mm.
So we're putting the 8 chairs around it now, because we're having a lot. We were doing 6, and a lot of parents were wanting to add on 2 extra all the time. So we went ahead and went with a 8 package. But man, I like that.
Yeah, I've been doing that 3 years already, and it's pretty good. And I think it's time to buy new picnic tables because they do get a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's part of the game there, but you got 3 years out of them. That's pretty good wear and tear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I forgot on the process. I told you we only allow it's not auto booking, but they fill out the tent form. We only get the tent form quotes, and then we can build a quote for the customer. That's what I was missing.
Oh, okay.
How do
Oh, I
well,
missed so much about our process. I forgot to tell you guys. We do a call. I did all my calls today. It's Tuesday, so I started doing my calls for this weekend this morning. Well, I'll text them out. And now, one thing that we do different, my wife doesn't like me to say this, but she doesn't like the word lazy, but I don't like to work unnecessarily. So what we do now is we're doing Friday deliveries with Sunday pickup, or we do Saturday delivery with Monday pickup.
Ooh.
I do not like flipping units. A lot of times when people want to flip, all of our slides, they start at like 550 pounds because they're the 18-foot double lanes. So when those things get wet, they're like 600 pounds. Man, I don't want to flip those things. That's a quick turnaround for a pickup on Sunday, and then have to turn around and deliver it like same day. Logistically, it's not always good because our delivery area is pretty big. So again, I just like to do the 2-day deliveries. So on Tuesday, I call all my clients. Need to talk to you guys about the delivery schedule for the weekend. When can I call you today? Almost always get an answer either now, or they'll give me a time. And then I set up my call schedule for the day. and I just call everybody back, tell them what our expectations are as far as the yard goes. Sharp objects, tree limbs, sticks, rocks, toys. We do the dog poop talk with them at that point in time. And then we ask them, when are you going to be available on Friday or Saturday for your delivery? Do you have to go to the grocery store to pick up a cake? If it's a Friday delivery, do you have a doctor's appointment? When do I need to work around? They give me their schedule of when I can and can't go there, and I tell them, okay, Thursday afternoon, I'll send you out a text message giving you about an hour and a half window of when we're going to be there. And then on the day of, I'll go ahead and text you and let you know that I'm going to be there in about 10 to 15 minutes. And the clients seem to think that that's pretty good communication at that point.
So do you send the ETA one day before?
Yes, we'll give them a window the day before, and then the
Okay.
day of, we give them, we're on our way to your house.
Okay, perfect.
Because again, if we're showing up at someone's house at 8 o'clock in the morning, they may not, if they're not expecting you, they could be in the shower.
Yeah.
Now it's a bad day because you've got this window here, and now I've got to go to the next client. They could be 10 minutes down the road, and I don't want to have to drive back. So
Two things, Jeffrey. The first one, I have the feeling every time you come to the roundtables, you make your wife mad.
What did I do this time?
And the second one, talking about the dog poop. Once I was calling a customer to tell them the rules and everything, and no lawn ornaments, no dog poop. And he stopped me and he was like, "Did you say dog poop?" And I was like, "Yes." He started laughing and said, "Are you kidding me? I don't want to know the story, but if you have to tell me no dog poop, there's got to be a huge story behind that." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, actually there is."
Weekly events.
I have plenty of stories like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share? Sorry.
That's probably the biggest part of our thing is that Tuesday call, of the week of. That way we can get everybody scheduled together, get a nice rapport going with whoever it's going to be that we're delivering to. It's almost always mom. And you'll start that again. We just start that conversation, so that way whenever we show up on Friday or Saturday, we're already familiar with each other. Oh yeah, I talked to you, kind of thing. So it really does put everybody on a good footing to start the day.
Question, Jeff. How many inflatables do you have, if you don't mind sharing that information?
Inflatables?
Yes.
Right now we have 22 units, and then we have one inflatable basketball game, and we have one on order, one combo on order, and 4 more games on order for Bounce Wave.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because you say that you ask them when are they available for you to go deliver. And I right now I got about 26, 27 inflatables, and if I ask them when are they available for me to go, I think it's gonna mess up with my schedule. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not asking them because again, the way I phrase it is, let me get in character here. So on Friday, I'm going to be delivering to you, and I'll just basically ask them how the conversation's going. Is there a time when you're not available? And I give them specific examples. The one I go is, you're going to go to Publix to pick up a birthday cake, or you're going out to a doctor's appointment, or to pick up the kids from school. When are you not available? And that forces them to give me their windows. And then I can say, okay, well, I'm going to be in this part of town in the morning. Because again, I'm not telling them what my schedule is. I'm just finding out what I need to work around. And then on Thursday, I tell them when I'm going to be there. But, if they're telling me that, they got a doctor's appointment from 11 to 1, and I'm like, well, I'm going to show up at your house at noon. They're like, well, cool. See you at 1,
Okay.
So that's why I do that one. I haven't had too many problems with the schedule thing, because again, I'll tell them, hey man, I'm going to start at like 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Is what's too early for you? What's too late for you? Those kind of things. Because
And
some
where do
people,
you write those down? On inflatable office on the notes on your quote? Okay. Okay.
that's
Same way.
I just make a list of who all the clients are, and then I start penciling them in on where they at. Where what you are they a Friday delivery, a Saturday delivery? Are they special something special where it's a Saturday pickup? Just keep all those notes.
Okay. That's handy.
And
Hey,
then,
what's
yeah,
up, Brandon? Hey, Brent.
what's going on, Mr.
Hey,
D?
hey,
Hey.
let's go. I was just getting in on the action. We
Yeah.
are, like I said, we do a $20 deposit. Like I said, you can pay the day of. Most of ours are, I think last year, 95% of the time, we're gonna get it like the day before. They pay like we have the auto set, where they can pay 2 days before. So when they book the inflatable, the book is on Saturday, it's typically paid by that Friday. I mean that Thursday to 2 days prior. So 95% of ours is paid. You still have those some people that still, want to pay the day of, but that's fine. Um I know we do like the text follow up just like, like would have been on with the high level. Texting like the follow up, 4 days before, you know, 2 days, well, 4 days, and then the day before, hey, we got the trucks, ready for you, loading up. You want to add anything extra, tables, chairs, game setup, etc. But I know this year we were going to be calling, kind of like what Jeff was saying. He called us on Tuesday. We're doing ours on like on Monday. Um, Calling them. I think this year we wanted to make sure that the customer hears our voice like the week of, because you can send the text and we send the emails, but sometimes it's just that you call the customers like, have you been getting our emails and texts? Or they'll text me or call me and say, hey, we just confirmation on. I'll say, yeah, we got you. Have you got the text or the email? Oh yeah, we got those. But I was like, so you are getting the text and the emails, but just to eliminate just a lot of that, we just making sure that we call. They're gonna hear our voice the week of. What is that Monday? Then you're gonna get a text the next day, and then the day before. Um, on that. I think we was talking about the poop in the backyards. I think we all have those stories of dog, the dog poop, or it is nerve wracking. I haven't counseled a booking, but sometimes it's like, sir, ma'am, uncle, grandma, hey, can someone get this up? Just, um, I have more the problem with the grass cutting. You get in there to set up, and now somebody want to mow the yard. I'm like, now you knew this, you booked this for 2 months now. Why are we just now cutting the grass or you having to wait for that? So that's
Mhm.
always annoying. So, but in this business, you always gonna have those annoying things. So that just kind of like, come on, hurry up so I can get this, get this set up. This year we're also gonna be we sent out the emails, the letter of, hey, we're going to be setting up from 8 to 1. Trying to have an all-out delivery set up. You trying to give them a window, not a particular time, but a window, so to make sure that they're going to be there at this time. Of course, if you're doing an indoor event, those are different. Of course, if it's at a Boys and Girls Club or inside an event center, you can't set that up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Um, but we will be doing this year. Once we get done with that first one, hey, we are 20 minutes out from you, or we are 30 minutes out. I think we're going to be doing that. We're trying our best to be doing that this year. Just giving them, because they have a window, but they always want to say, well, how far out are you? Or, so once they know it's between that window of 8 to 1 or 8 to 12, depending on what all we got. But we're also going to be trying our best to send those texts like, driver, ETA 30 minutes. So if you at the store getting the cake, come on, hurry up and get to the house so you can, or send the husband or the wife or the nephew, whoever, so to do that. So, um, you're just trying to eliminate as much confusion as possible on all of on how they can go on a Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Tuesday, whichever one. So I think it's kind of it's all you just trying to stay on top of everything. So that's how we kind of doing that.
Question. Do you charge for sandbags? I mean, I guess it's out of the topic, but do you
Yes,
charge for sandbags and how much?
I charge $40 if you want to break it down. It could be $10 per sandbag. Some people don't. I do. When you get the doing just a regular bounce house, has the four rings, you sanding it. If you tell me these bags are 50, 60 pounds, that's an additional inflatable right there. 200 to, you're talking about each side, that's 160 to 200 pounds, depending on, your bags between 50 to 60. So you get to put all that weight on the back of that truck, on the back of that trailer, and you got multiple events that's on um, concrete or um what is that that grass, that synthetic grass, like that's a lot of weight that you're pulling. Some people don't charge it, but when you sending out 20 sandbags at 50 pounds a piece or 60 pounds, depending on some of them are 80. I have some that's 80 pounds. That's a lot of weight you're picking up to secure. Some people say that's with the safety of the bouncer, but it's not. You putting that on grass. If you put that on grass, we can stake it down, ain't no problem. We can stake it down for the 18, but you putting it on concrete, that's more of a safety hazard anyway. Because we had to bring out additional stuff. If it was on grass, we wouldn't have no problem with it. But when you putting this on the concrete or the synthetic grass, yes, we're gonna charge you for it. That doesn't come with the bouncer. So, that doesn't, because sandbags don't come with the inflatables. You buy an inflatable, what comes with it? You can buy their sandbag, I mean their stakes, or some people give you stakes. Well, they used to anyway. They used to use stakes. They're not giving you sandbags, they're selling you that additional because it's an option. So that's just my 2 cents on that though. But
When you're staking, in case you have tents, bigger tents like 20 by 20s, do you use Ulidig or this kind of services where they check the property for service lines or water pipes or something?
I have not done that yet, but that is definitely something that we should be doing, especially for those big tents. But at the same time, you put an 18-inch stake in the ground, it's going to hit whatever's underground anyway. There's almost no lines or more than a foot and a half deep around a house.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so,
I once hit a cable, and I felt it when I was putting it down, and when I noticed and trying to take the spike out, it shocked me.
ooh, I have busted a water line at a church of all
But that's
places.
many times for
A
me.
main water line I had busted at a church, but that was totally their fault because where they had me setting up, I had two maintenance guys showing me there. I was like, "Are you sure there's no lines here? I'm putting big stakes in." They're like, "No, no, no. The only line here is way over there. It's that one you can see sticking out of the ground." I'm like, "Okay, there's no lines anywhere." They're like, "Yeah, no lines." The last stake I'm putting in the ground,
It
water
was
just
always
starts
the last
bubbling
one.
up. I'm like, "Guys, we got a problem." So they started talking about sharing the cost until I said, no,
That was a shocking birthday, Ray.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it was pretty bad situation, but we got it fixed though. It's all good.
Okay, okay.
I'm seeing the comments are saying some states don't got to worry about it. Utah, Alabama, so 3 feet plus deep. Whew. Wow.
But the sprinklers.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
The sprinklers are the issue.
the sprinklers are like 6 inches deep.
Exactly. We actually do when it's the 20, we only do Julie digs for our 20 by 20s because they go deeper. And we ask for the Julie dig to go there a week before their event. If they ask for a 20 by 20 with less time than a week, we add water barrels to secure the tent because we cannot go in there and stake the tent with the danger of punching a line or a water pipe, or
How
that's
much
too
for the
dangerous.
water? How much for the water?
Exactly. Julie dig,
Oh,
it's free.
wonder how much for the water barrels?
Oh, the water barrels, I think, oh, I don't remember. I think it's $50 each. I think. I
Really?
don't remember. Yeah. And they have to fill them themselves.
Oh, that was my
Oh,
next
we
question.
don't fill them for them.
That was my next question. Like, who provides the
So,
water?
Hey,
so
so those of you that use, and I'm just getting intense myself, those of you that use water barrels, I'm with you. I definitely wouldn't stay and fill them myself. But how are you ensuring that they're filled, right?
Because you scare them, you say, tell them if you don't fill them, your tent is gonna fly away and your event will be ruined.
And then we have a problem.
and then you're
Yeah,
liable to them, right?
and you're gonna pay for that tent. So,
Yes.
guys, before we leave, we have 10 minutes left. Let me remind you that today the new podcast chapter for Tariq is out. Is with, give me one second, I
Frank
have it in
Cruz.
here.
Frank Cruz today.
Frank Cruz, from flea market hustle to six-figure game trucks. So don't miss it, guys. You can watch it on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify.
Nice.
That's good. That's good.
You
Um,
got some,
w-
yes, sir.
one thing I'm looking at this year is, I guess it's, I won't say being more direct with the customer, but it's, I don't know. I think sometimes we be too, I won't say soft with the customer, or I mean, if that's what you want to call it, soft, or it's just like, this is what we're gonna need to get your party, in the best professional, courteous, tone or voice. Like this is what we're gonna do to make sure your event is successful. If that's access to the backyard, if that's access to, like a clean space, or, the outlets being, um, you know, visible, or, waiting for someone to get home, and you're trying to be a lot more, um, I guess I'm defensive because we are bringing the fun, we are the party. So just trying to make sure that everything, I know we are just trying to be more, um, on top of it, almost you being the professional person, because sometimes we look, well, this is their house, and this is, it's saying like when we invite somebody in to, I don't know, cut the grass, even at our own property. Like they say, okay, I've been here before. I've done this. I know. So you're saying because they're trusting you that you know what you're doing. So you're telling them what you need. You're telling them what we need to. Hey, we got to go here. We got to go here. So just being more assertive, if that's the right word, assertive, and because we're the professionals. They don't know if you've been in business for 20 years or if you've been in business for 2 weeks. And so there's knowing when we come here and we come to, take care of you, set up the bouncer, if that's the foam or is that the cotton candy or whatever it is, and just making sure that, that professionalism, because sometimes if we are tiptoeing, then the customer, like, they don't really know what they're doing. And you end up going to a house and you didn't sell the bouncer 2 times. No, we don't want it over here. We want it over there. Or, you like, okay, now you're getting more frustrated when you just say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And just kind of showing, hey, this is what we're going to use. Shadows in the front. We're going to put it here because they're trusting that you know what you're doing. And so we have to show up and act like we know what we're doing to get the job done, best as possible or as fast as possible. So
You're right. The customer service it's really important here, and teach them and educate them, but being polite is really important. Michael, your hand is raised. What do you want to tell us?
I have some advice for this situation. I'm going into year two. Um, this is took off way quicker than I thought, but my day job is I work for AT&T. When it comes to quote unquote customer interaction, the second you show up, as long as you know you're handling your business, you control that event. At that point, that is your event. That's how I operate. If the customer, you let them choose where they're at. The same way we didn't know anything about bounce houses, they don't either. They're just renting it from you. What you say as the professional, as the person who's booking it, that's your call. I promise you, they're not canceling your kid's event on the day of their event and
Under,
finding another bounce house at that time. What you says goes at that point. The leverage is in your hands.
I cannot tell you how many times we got calls on Saturdays that I need a bounce house in a half an hour because, well, most of the times I got scammed. But yeah, they do. They find bounce houses half an hour before their event. Believe me, they do. Jeffrey, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was to say on this point, where you're going to set up the unit, that's going to be dependent upon, what their yard looks like and where, that's going to be when you get on site. Other than that, what you do on every individual or all of your setup should be basically the same thing. And whenever you're interacting with the client, don't be afraid to give them direction. Don't be afraid to tell them what you need from them. Again, that the purpose of the call earlier in the week is to tell them what my expectations are. I want your yard clean. We go over the approximate setup location. Where are we doing front yard? Are we doing backyard? Because I'm looking at the satellite view on Inflatable Office. They have it just attaches over to maps, and so when I'm on the phone with them, I'm looking at their address. I've got their satellite view. I've got a street view of their house if I can get it. So I'm talking to them about their property to begin with, telling them what I need, what I don't need, and whenever I get on site, I tell them I'm going to take a tarp and I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. What do you need for me to do different? And if they don't come up with anything different, then go about your day. Put the stuff down. Don't be afraid to tell them what you need from them. And because just like you said, Michael, that's your event. You're the one who's setting up. They don't know anything about a bounce house, but don't be afraid to teach them. Talk to them about the bounce house. Tell them what you're doing and why you're doing it. Show them these big. We're going to put these big anchor stakes in your yard.
I guess.
So we need to know where your sprinkler system is. That's
I
what
guess. I guess those when you say that, and this used to be me, like you say. I used to think about my business as like a side hustle. And since it's bounce house, a lot of people they just be like, "Oh, he's just a bounce house guy, don't worry about it. He just whatever." But what you're saying right now about taking this seriously and actually tell people you got a big responsibility with this unit. If anything, I tell you, if the wind is more than 50 miles per hour to turn it off, and you don't, then that's your problem. You know what I mean? So what you're saying is 100% right, and I'm having a little trouble giving them that instructions, directions, but I'm getting there to, I guess,
Rick,
that it is serious.
Yeah, going off of what Jeff said, we tell our customers on pickup, like we send them a 2 hour notice when we're like about 2 hours. You kind of, once you've been doing it a while, you kind of know how long it takes to pick up units. So you can kind of map it out. And we send them a 2 hour notice. That way they can inflate it. We tell them to, put the foot on the inflated pool or the side where so the water can come out. And then we tell them to inflate it so it dries out at the same time, makes it lighter for us. And then we don't have to take out as much water. But some customers don't know that. Or some of we know a couple people who just kind of don't say anything to the customers and they're picking up a really, really wet unit and then it makes it a whole mess. We're trying to be, not to lift too heavy.
Can't hear you, Tyler.
You're mute, bro.
Tyler, you're muted.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then there's those customers that don't care that will just leave it flat and waterlogged anyway. So,
Oh man.
but they do happen. But it certainly minimizes the amount of extra work your guys or yourself have to do when you give them that heads up. We usually give them that spiel when we deliver it. Show them all the safety stuff and go over all the safety issues, and then been trying to figure out how to keep that conversation simple so it's not overloading them with information. But yeah, usually I tell them, hey, we'll give you, if you'll just have it ready for by this time when we come to pick it up. If you can drain the pool, great. Otherwise, we'll just take care of it. If you'll just leave the unit up for us, as long as there's no wind, that really helps us out. Because half the time when they drain the water out, they do it wrong anyway, and then it ends up inside the unit instead of away from the unit. So I just a lot of times we just tell them, just leave it up and we'll take care of it. It's a little more effort and work for us to drain the pools, but in terms of that, I would rather do that than they drain it and they open up the front zipper and all that water goes on the inside of the unit instead of staying outside. So my take on it.
Well, one thing that we do as far as pickups with the clients is we just tell them, let the kids use it. It's not going to get any dirtier. It's not going to get wetter. So, we got a Sunday, we got a day if I spend all day Friday delivering, I'm going to spend all day Sunday picking up. So I tell them I'm going to give you a window of when I'm going to be there. I might not be there till 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Use that water slide all day. Get your money's worth out of it, and that'll get most everything drained out of it except for what's in the pool. So you don't have to worry about it being too waterlogged.
And
Because
customers
as
think you're
far as the
getting more
seating and
value.
water, the water gets inside the baffle areas sometimes. So if it's inflated the whole time, all that water that's inside can drain down.
What we do, we only text them that morning if we're picking up midday or something and ask them to turn off the blower and we'll take care of the rest. So it has time to dry up.
Yep.
So just chime in here, guys. I'm driving. So we
Hey, Stacy.
we very rarely flip our slides anymore for just this reason. 90% of the time, Sunday is the busy day anyway. So we usually tell them, if your rental time's 5 o'clock, be prepared that we could be there up to 2 hours after, but we don't pick up after 5. But we tell them if they don't turn off their water and we get there and it's still full, there is $100 fee for an extra heavy pickup. So we suggest that they go overnight for pretty much free or $50, and then they pop it on without water the next day. Let the kids play in it if you want the next day, but without water. And that normally takes care of about 70% of our problems. The only people know if we show up and it's wet or the water's still running, we're going to charge them $100. That takes care of it. You put a dollar value on it without being rude. You explain to them, this adds 800 pounds to this unit. So we appreciate it if you let it run dry. They get it, and you can tell them to play on it without the water.
I agree with that.
Yep. We scare them.
Ray, if I
It's
may,
not meant to be scary. Legitimately, if I've got to pay 4 guys to come out and remove a 22-foot water slide from your backyard, that's a lot. I've had to go back on people who don't care. I've had to go back with bigger crews and liftgate trucks just to get stuff out of their yard because they were disrespectful by not listening to a very clearly stated contract and very clearly printed paperwork. So if they're going to just disregard that because their kids are having fun, it's going to cost them an extra 100. But they know that walking in that that's what it's going to be because we're very, very clear about it. And I'm very, very lenient because I hate the problems we have with water slides. So I pretty much be like, hey, we'll get there Sunday afternoon sometime. And I throw it on a big crew so they can get out of there no matter what.
That's smart.
So, I'm not making enough revenue on Sundays that I have to flip every slide. But I'm a larger operator, so I appreciate that a smaller operator's got to pick it up that night, turn around and put it back out the next morning. That's a beast. I tell them, end at 5, I'll be there at 7. If the water's still on, you're paying extra. That's what we used to do, So if you're smaller and you got to flip that slide, you don't have the liberty to let them blow it up the next morning and play on it dry because that gets all your water out because they're playing on it, then, put a dollar value on it. That usually makes the dollar. When you tell somebody it's going to cost me $35 to move that bounce across your yard because you are repositioned it, suddenly it stays where it was.
So Stacy, have you ever had to charge people for that? Did you ever run into where you actually had to follow through on that?
Yep.
Or was that enough deterrent for a lot of them?
Twice last year, but it was because it was one of those, my wife didn't tell me. So I thought it'd be fine if I turned it on this morning. And your wife owes you $100, dude.
Okay, guys. Yeah, Stacy.
But what I'll do is if we show up wet, I'll say, look, my delivery crew has come back out. You have it on, it's wet. Why don't you keep it another day? Because it's going to cost you, say, $195 to have it all day. And I'm going to charge you $100 to pick it up now. And I could just pick it up on Monday and I'm going to charge you for like half price second day or whatever. Usually they go for that. So I upsell them so I don't have to deal with it.
No disrespect, but I'm after Stacy picks my unit up, I'm never renting from her again.
Okay, guys. Well, we run out of time. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you had fun and you learned a lot. And well, see you next week. And thank you very much. Have a great night. And see you later.
See.
Ray, if you can, if I don't get your number down, try to find me on Facebook and DM me from there. I'm
All
gonna
right,
write your
just
number
for your
down now.
links. All right.